Can I sell property to my self-directed IRA? Hey everyone, Adam Bergman here, tax attorney and founder of IRA Financial. So before we get into whether you can use your IRA to transact and buy or sell property, it's important to know what are the 3 prohibited transactions that you're not able to do with your IRA. And thankfully, there's only 3. 1, you can't buy life insurance. 2, you can't buy collectibles like art. Thirdly, and the broadest, is found under Internal Revenue Code section 4975 and says you can't do any transaction with your IRA that in any way directly or indirectly personally benefits you or a lineal descendant, parent, child, spouse, daughter-in-law, son-in-law, or any entities controlled by such persons. Thus, in sum, you can't do any IRA investment that in any way personally benefits you or a lineal descendant. 100% exclusive benefit must be derived by the IRA. So if you own a property personally, it's tainted. You can't sell it to your IRA. Now, a third party, a brother, sister, a non-disqualified person can sell that property to your IRA, but you can't, right? People try to get cute and they say, okay, what happens if I do this, Adam? I sell the property to Joe, third party, not related to me, and then Joe just sells it to my IRA. Well, the IRS isn't that dumb. They have a couple of doctrines out there known as economic substance or sham transaction doctrine that says this: if they feel that a step in your transaction, that sale or quote unquote sale to Joe, is a sham or has no economic substance, they'll ignore it. And they'll basically just treat your IRA as transacting with you, which is a disqualified person subject to tax and penalty. So just be super careful if you're doing circumventing transactions. It could generally be allowed, but there needs to be substance. So if you're going to sell the property to Joe, make sure Joe is paying you fair market value. Joe's probably going to want to hold it at least 6, 12 plus months, right? You don't want to do the deal in one day. I sell to Joe and Joe sells to my IRA tomorrow. That's not going to look good if the IRS audits you. It's going to be very, very, very hard to show that it's not a sham or there's any economic substance. So you want to show that Joe's paying value. You want to see that Joe holds that asset for some time. And when your IRA is paying Joe for that property, generally don't want it to be the same price that you sold it to Joe, right? So if you sell it for $100,000 to Joe, you buy it for 105 or 10 or 98 or whatever it is. Terms should be different. Joe should hold that asset and nothing could be prearranged. If you have things in writing that says, hey, Joe, I'm going to sell it to you for X, and then a week later, you're going to sell it to me for Y, you're going to lose if you get audited. Total sham, no substance. So it has to be both legs of the transaction needs to be real, legitimate, and have economic substance. So if you're doing these step type transactions, be super careful. The IRS is not dumb. They will ask questions about where you bought it from, who that person bought that asset from. And if they see it's a circular transaction with no substance, they'll nail you and they will blow up the transaction. Okay, I've seen it, so be super careful. Generally, when you own an asset, it's tainted and you should not be in any way directly or indirectly selling it to your self-directed IRA.